I just finished the Death Note live action film on Netflix, literally like 2 minutes ago, and I didn't hate it. I didn't love it, but I definitely didn't hate it. It was a very interesting spin on the story. Obviously, there's a lot of things that felt a little out of place, but a lot of the stuff worked, and I don't know, I appreciate the approach that they were taking with this film. I just don't think it was executed in the best way possible. Some things that I really enjoyed about the film, I love Lakeith Stanfield. He did a fantastic job as L. I think that his character worked. I'll talk about the ending in just a little bit. This is going to be full of spoilers, by the way, just to let you know. I liked how he approached the character. I like how he stayed quite true to how L is in the original source material. He stayed true to that. He spoke like him. He like had the same mannerisms, and I think that's something that a lot of people were worried about. That was everyone's main concern coming in, and I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I think that's actually probably my favorite part about this entire film. I think that his performance really worked. I think that he gave one of the better performances in this film, and I like that. Like that was really cool that they decided to I don't know, stay true to the source material with the character of L. Like that really worked in the movie, I think, because his character is the most extreme and kind of weird and quirky out of everyone in Death Note, next to, like, of course, Misa or whatever. Speaking of her, okay, yeah, we'll get onto the bad stuff later. Nat WolfF's performance. This one is a little tricky for me. I feel like he's not a bad actor. He's not a terrible actor. I've seen him in other stuff. He's pretty decent. In this movie, he is pretty decent. It's just there's some scenes and some things that happen that really make you question his acting performances. Like, I don't know. I'm not trying to, like, you know, just like narc all over him or anything like that. Like, there's just, like, when Ryuk is first revealed to him in that classroom, his reaction just feels so forced. He's like screaming like a girl. He's like jumping all over the place. He has weird expressions on his face, just goofy. And I don't think it's all his fault. I think it has a lot to do with the direction and the writing as well. But his character just really didn't work in a lot of scenes. I mean, Nat WolfF didn't work in a lot of those scenes. And I'm a fan of Nat WolfF. Again, I've seen him in other stuff. I liked him in other stuff. I don't think he's been in, you know, a lot of good movies, but he's always been serviceable in those movies, whether bad or good. And I don't know, I just wasn't feeling his performance in this movie. I don't think it was working at all for me. Again, there were some parts of the movie where I'm like, yeah, that works. That's something that Light would do. That's something that Light would say in the original source material. But other things, like him screaming like a girl all the time, him kind of being real frantic and just derpy, like, I didn't like that. That kind of took away from the character. That took the edge away from the character. And that didn't really work for me. It really didn't. But again, I'm putting this in a positive because I think that there were some aspects to his character and his performance that worked quite well. Shea Wingham did a good job as Light's father. I thought his character was actually pretty interesting. Paul Nakauchi as Watori, I think his character worked. I think the way they used his character was interesting. I don't know, that part of the film kind of made me scratch at my head a little bit on how exactly, like, what are the rules in this Death Note movie are a little bit different than the rules in the original source material. Like, they work a little bit different. They're not the same thing. How, like, he kind of bends people and, like, he can talk to them on the phone and, like, tell him to do stuff. Like, that was, like, what part of the Death Note allows you to do that? Like, I don't remember that part in the original source material. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I didn't really like that. But yeah, I like the differences. I think the differences are what make the movie good, but I don't like some of the differences and things that they've changed. The worst part about this movie, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say it right now, my least favorite part is Light Turner. Him as a character. I don't like how Misa, or Mia Sutton, was... Yeah, that's her name, right? Yeah, Mia. I don't like how she was the main influence, sort of, in his come about as Kira. Like, I don't like how she was kind of the backbone of Kira. Like, I wanted to see Kira have that driving force, and that's the main thing that I was concerned about after all of the trailers. I'm sorry, my hair is like bothering me right now. I should have like fixed that before I started this video. I wanted Light to be the main driving force of Kira. I wanted him to be this god character that he makes himself out to be. And he really isn't that in this movie. In the beginning, he speaks about it and he talks about it, but then Mia comes in, this character, the Misa character, which is nothing like Misa in the original source material, nothing at all, comes in and kind of just twists his motives and changes things. And I kind of wanted, because in the original source material, my favorite part about the story is seeing Light Yagami change his aspect and outlook on how to get the job done, on how to bring justice upon the world. And he has to make sacrifices and has to do things. He eventually, spoiler alert for Death Note fans out there, if you have not watched all Death Note or read all Death Note, I apologize, but he eventually has to take his father's life in order for him not to be caught by L, I believe. And at that point in the series, that made me realize that he is completely psycho and just crazy, and he's going, off the bandwagon and really trying to get this job. Like, you, at that time in the series, you really felt that motivation, but this, you don't ever see motivation from Light. He just kind of does things. He just kind of does stuff. At the end of the movie, when he's kind of breaking down everything that went down at the Ferris wheel scene, that was kind of like Light, and there's a couple of other things as well, but I just don't like how derpy and silly and goofy and just, I don't know, he just wasn't a smart character. Like, he didn't seem like he knew how everything was together. The cat and mouse game between L and Light would have made more sense to me if Light was smarter in this movie. Like, when L accuses Light of being Kira, of course he's Kira. Like, he doesn't even take the necessary precautions to prevent people from finding that out. Really, it's Misa. She is Kira. Misa is the Kira in this movie, and Light is kind of like this I don't know, like this spark that kind of goes back and forth between Mia and Light in the movie, and it's interesting. And again, I appreciate the change that they made. I appreciate the differences that and approach that they were trying to go with this film, but that was really not working for me. When you take one of the most thrilling aspects of the entire Death Note series and take away one of the most key essential elements from the main character of that source material, it kind of makes the film hurt a little bit. I'm okay with them changing things, but I don't like the idea of altering the main character of the story. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. I like that they stayed true to L, and I'm sure a lot of people will like that as well. I knew that Lakeith Stanfield was going to do a good job, but he did fantastic as L. Like, he was more L than some of the other L's that I've seen in the other movies. Like, he worked really, really well in this movie. I really liked him. But I don't know, like, best part about Death Note, of course, is the cat and mouse game between L and Light. That's everyone's favorite part. Seeing that back and forth, seeing, like, the things that they do, the conversations that they have, the arguments that they have, seeing... I think another aspect is when Light joins the Force. When Light joins the Force in the original source material and ends up helping L try to find Kira. I think that taking that away from the film really kind of, it hurts. And the film is so rushed. And I don't want to say it's rushed. It doesn't feel like the movie's in fast motion, although there's a few montages, and I don't really like montages at all. And there's a couple of them, and that's fine. And again, the film's not rushed. It's just the story is happening so fast, and I feel like this would have been better suited as like a trilogy, or at least a two-part, movie series kind of thing, where you just have one part and then 6 months later the second part comes out. I feel like that would have worked a little bit more, to at least have 4 hours to kind of play around with and do a little more with, or even a live-action series. I think would have worked a lot better for this type of story. Even if they are making these changes here and there, I think you just have a better chance of expanding and telling a proper Death Note type story. And it doesn't have to be an exact adaptation. It doesn't have to be perfect, pinpoint here and there. It just needs to make more sense for the characters, at least. Willem Dafoe as Ryuk, Okay, he's fantastic. Willem Dafoe is great as Ryuk. I just don't really like Ryuk in this movie. Like, he doesn't really do much. He's, again, it was exactly what I said. I wanted to see that more quirky, kind of wild Ryuk. And Ryuk was kind of a jerk in this movie. I like how Light and Ryuk ended up becoming kind of friends in the original source material. Like, I like how they kind of had a back and forth. Like, oh, are you sure you should be doing this? This doesn't seem quite right now, does it? Like, I like how how he would kind of come in and comment, like, oh boy, here you go again. Like, I like that. And I like how I don't know, I like how he was kind of involved, but he didn't exactly impact any decision that Light made in the original source material. But in this, he kind of does impact a lot of the decisions that Light makes, and he's just kind of a jerk. And he's always just like laughing in the background. He's evil in this movie. He's truly evil. And of course, yeah, he's evil. He's a god of death. He's supposed to be evil. I get that. But I would have liked to see him more quirky and more fun and kind of, you know, I wanted him to be the humor of the movie. I wanted him to be the comedy relief. And I mean, that's what it's like in the original source material. He's kind of like a funny character, and again, he's quirky. But in this, he just really was a demon. He was a monster, and they play him as that, and it kind of seems a little cheesy. It seems a little like, oh, we have a big scary guy, let's make him big and scary. Like, no, like, I wanted to see them take the chance on making him crazy and wild and fun, and I wanted to see them take that chance and just do something a little more interesting, because every single movie, every like horror movie or whatever, has like a big bad guy, a monster that's creepy. But why not have like a big bad guy that's not like this mean jerk thing, and then actually like a friendly kind of like guardian that like helps protect you or whatever. Like, I don't know. I just didn't really like the approach they were taking with Ryuk's character. Sorry. Let's talk about the ending of the movie. I think I'll just go ahead and jump into this. I liked it. I know that sounds weird, because I was already saying that they changed so much and it felt a little like but I like the chase. Okay, so first things first, the chase scene between Light and L was really, really cool. I said earlier that the cat and mouse game of the original source material is my favorite part, but this was legit like cat and mouse chasing each other through like alleyways and going through like a construction site and a kitchen eventually. It's pretty cool. Like, I don't know if it really makes sense story-wise. Like, why would L go this far? Like, can he just have like other people chase him? Why is L chasing him personally? I thought that was kind of weird. But it was a really well shot chase scene, and I really enjoyed it. Like, I was watching it and I was expecting it just to go on for like a minute, and then it just kept going, and I was like, oh my god, this is really good. This is a really well done scene here. So that was really, really cool. Again, it didn't really affect the story too much, but I don't know. I don't. And then the chase scene's ruined by the guy that hits him in the back of the head, and he's like, Lord Kira. Like, that was so trite. Like, it was just so it just, I don't know, like, that was not, it didn't seem like a realistic scenario. It didn't seem like that would actually really happen. It just felt a little silly, kind of, and he was like, yeah, I'm Lord Kira. Yeah, thank you for obeying me. Like, again, Light being super derpy and just like dopey, I guess is the word I should use. And I don't know, like the chase scene was cool, but everything that kind of led after it was a little but the actual ending of the movie, I liked that L was there at the Death Note. And I mean, I don't know. Did he write his name? I don't know. I like how they kind of leave that up to you. I like these types of endings that do that. It doesn't have to be like a clear-cut ending, like, hey, bye-bye, you know, thank you for watching our movie, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like, I like how they kind of leave it up to the imagination, and that's fun to me. It makes you talk about the movie a little bit. I don't think in the original source material L would ever use the Death Note in any situation. I think he is strictly against that. He even mentions in this movie that he doesn't like to kill, and yet he holds a gun and he's trying to go after Light, and he's trying to kill Light. And then even when they're having that conversation in the cafe, he mentions like, oh no, like I just want to see him put to justice. that seems kind of weird to me that it's kind of a plot hole, actually, that he would even think about using the Death Note. I just like the idea of an ending that's a little open and you can kind of think about it a little bit. I don't think I like the actual character direction that they took for L. I think that was kind of weird, and again, I believe it's a plot hole. Like, I don't think it works very well. All in all, the film itself as a whole wasn't terrible. I know a lot of people are roasting this film. I know a lot of people are claiming it's the worst, it's Dragon Ball Evolution all over again. It is not. I think Adam Wingard did a decent job of adapting the story. I thought he made surprising changes that kind of like, hey, that's pretty good. But other things just really didn't work. It's just a lot. The movie is just so much. They crammed so much into this one movie. Although not terrible, definitely not good. I think I would give it like a 5 out of 10. Maybe like, yeah, I think I'd give it like a 5 out of 10. It just, there was a lot of things that just weren't clicking for me. But the overall film as a whole, like the performances I really enjoyed. Like I really enjoyed, what's his name? Light's father. I just said the actor's name just a while ago. Wingham. I really enjoyed his performance, and I really enjoyed Lakeith Stanfield's performance as well. I thought that Stanfield really embodied what I wanted L to be in this movie, and that was really cool as well. Even some of the stuff that Nat WolfF did was pretty cool. I don't think that Nat WolfF is a bad actor. I just think that the writing of Light's character was terrible. I just think that there were some areas of this movie that were just terrible. Like, why would he scream like a little girl when he, like, that's not Light. I don't like Light's character in the movie. It has nothing to do with the actor of Nat WolfF. I actually think that Nat WolfF could have played a really good Light character if he was actually smart and concise, and there was that cat and mouse game played throughout this entire film. And, you know, like, it just wasn't there, so you just had this boring kind of derpy, dopey, you know, goofy character. How many adjectives can I fit in there? That just didn't work for me. So that's one. And again, the main character is the backbone of the film. Like, you have a sucky main character, the movie's gonna kind of be sucky. So yeah, it's a 5 out of 10 for me. Comment down below, give me your thoughts on the Death Note Netflix live action movie. I can't believe this thing actually got made. Again, it's not terrible. I don't think it is. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. What did you think of the changes that they made? Oh, Mia Sutton in this movie, the Misa character, disgusting. I think I already said that, but just disgusting. I hated her. I thought her performance was a little stale. And her character just did not make sense at all. Like, her character just kind of, like, what? Like, how did she... Why did she... There's no she's Kira now. Okay, that part I really didn't like, and that's another reason why I didn't like this movie and why it's a 5 out of 10. But yeah, comment down below. Give me your thoughts on that aspect of the film. Give me your thoughts on Keith Stanfield's performance. It said Keith Stanfield on a lot of the articles that were casting, that he was cast as L, but in the credits it says Lakeith Stanfield. A lot of people are saying Lakeith Stanfield. I apologize if I've been pronouncing his name wrong. I just didn't know it was Lakeith. I thought it was just Keith Stanfield because it was put out that way in a lot of the articles that were talking about the actor taking the role as L. So yeah, what do you think of Lakeith Stanfield as L? What do you think just the whole cast and the entire film? Comment down below, give me your thoughts. I'd love to hear them. Hit the like button if you enjoyed anything that I had to talk about, and subscribe for more anime, gaming, and other related stuff on this channel. Yeah, I greatly appreciate it. Anyway, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for watching. I was gonna get my Death Note out and be like, Adam Wingard, Nat WolfF. I was going to do that. I actually have a Death Note. It's in my sister's room, but I didn't hate it that much. I didn't hate it enough to write their names in my Death Note. Do you hate it enough to write their names in yours? Anyway, I think that's pretty much it. I'll catch you guys later. Bye-bye. Something else that I forgot to mention was the OST for this film as well, the original soundtrack. I thought a lot of this stuff really worked and fit Death Note quite well. I think it was really cool. Some of the song choices were really cool. I like the first song in the film when it starts. I thought that was really cool. When those people were falling off the rooftops, that was kind of cool. Some of the songs felt really cheesy and forced for edginess and just felt kind of stupid. Adam Wingard has done stuff like that in the past with the movie The Guest, which is a fantastic movie. That's why I had faith in this movie, because of the movie The Guest. But you could definitely see a lot of The Guest in this movie. He even mentioned that before, so I thought that was actually kind of a really concise statement by the director, because he was very correct about it. And one more complaint I have to make is there were so many little things in the Death Note original source material that weren't in this film. Like, not just I take a potato chip and eat it, not just that scene, but just a bunch of other little aspects and little scenes that would have worked in this film just fine, but just weren't in there. I wish they paid a little more homage to the original source material and just did a little, like the bus scene. I thought that would have been really, really cool in this movie. I would have loved to see the Death Note in the watch, and I would have loved to see, like, those little things where you know, the blood, like, where he pricks himself, and then, like, that would have been so cool in this movie. I'm trying to think of other things. Again, Ryuk, I mentioned earlier that he doesn't seem like the real Ryuk. He's just like this ominous blah 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 in the background. I would have liked to see him eat apples and, you know, jump around and stuff, do the dance and everything. Like, I like that part. I would have loved to see, like, a fist fight between the handcuff scene. Like, there's just so much of Death Note that I love that wasn't in this movie, and I think that's another big aspect to why it's not my favorite. Again, it's a 5 out of 10. Maybe a 4.5, maybe a 4 out of 10 now that I keep thinking about it. I don't know, it changes as I marinate it. Anyway, I need to stop. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.